get them by.
Hey, what do you say? Oh, you need some gold, you need some earrings, what do you need? I got everything you need. Welcome to my shop, hey.
Ring bands.
Gold earrings, wedding rings, Tosha coin frames. Do lots of real beautiful tourmaline work. As far as crystals go, tourmalines, diamonds, a little bit of gold as well. You know, just a little bit of everything. If you want some wax carving stuff, I also have some sea life, dolphins, mermaids, little shells, starfish, a little bit of everything.
So if it lives in the sea, you can craft it.
Pretty much, yeah. I'd like to say that. I don't want to get myself into too much trouble, but yeah. This is where it all happens. My tiny little L-shaped hole in the wall. I got my polishing machine, which makes everything nice and shiny. I got my rolling mill down on the far end there. That helps me make all the wire and the sheet. There's also going to be the solder station over here, which tends to get pretty messy just because of all the different stuff that I use as far as fluxes to make things flow better. But this is my trusty little crucible where I drop all my metal and goods down into here. We heat that baby up real hot, and then we pour it into one of these holes here. You can either make wire, as you can see, round wire of different various sizes, or you can flip it around, make yourself some sheet. That is the way that I produce everything that makes things like these, all the way from the sheet being here and the wire being here. Every single piece is made from molten metal.
You roll your own metals, make your own molds for your patterns.
You got it.
You are a classically trained jeweler.
That is correct.
And where did you get your training at, Mr. Soto?
I got my training at the North Bennett Street School, the North End of Boston. They are the oldest trade school in the nation. Founded, I believe, in 1881, and they do everything from like bookbinding, locksmithing, violin making, piano making, all types of fancy furniture, woodwork too. And they just so happen to do jewelry design and repair as well. And the jewelry design and repair program is about 2 years, give or take a few months. And then basically what happens in that program is they teach you to do what I just sort of showed you in a nutshell there, which is make all the wire, all the sheet, whether that's silver or gold, platinum, and other precious metals as well. That is the process that we were trained to make. There's also other ways like wax carving, lost wax casting, things like that, that are elements that you learn there, as well as little teaser courses to engraving, which I got really kind of addicted with, and got myself a little trusty engraving machine hiding over here. This little number is kind of what makes the wheels turn. It has all different types of tips here. This is a hammer setting tip for doing different things, but effectively it's hooked up to my little air compressor down there. I step on a little pedal there, and where's the pedal?
And you make the magic.
It's pretty straightforward. This thing just vibrates back and forth, and what you would do is either push things down, or you can switch out the tips and you can get more fancy with it. This is an actual graver here. You can see there's a flat face down here at the bottom. You have to shape all this stuff yourself and polish it and everything. But the most important part is this little tiny face on the bottom. It's called the heel. And effectively, that's what digs in when you do your little engravings and what have you. And you can see it's wood. Kind of runs right through that. You can imagine what it does to metal, but you know, to get some of the different types of designs, it's called walking the graver. So it's kind of funny being a native local from Key West, born here and raised off and on here my whole life. I've always, you know, noticed this thing that is Cuban hoop earrings, and I was always kind of fascinated by it, even though obviously I don't wear them. it seemed like every single girl that I knew had these earrings, and they were very elaborate. Now, my mom is from Boston, so I was able to leave and go up there for school, but also I did a lot of back and forth because my dad is stationed here. And I did that while I was younger, but I always noticed everywhere else that I went, this Cuban hoop earring thing is just, it's nothing anywhere else. So like south of Miami is pretty much the most saturated and only market I've ever seen, but people love them. Once they get them, they fall in love with them. They get them for their daughters, they get them bigger ones as their kids get older, and there really only is a couple of other folks, I believe, that still can get them, but there's not really anybody else that's still making them by hand, as in rolling out the metal, hand engraving everything. I believe now it's all die cut. And there's nothing wrong with that. I just like to try to keep it a little bit more traditional and a little bit more well built and with body, not too thin so they get all flimsy and bend. But I got inspired by that, and I wanted to kind of continue that thing going. And then also, I'm also kind of addicted to tourmalines.
So tell us, where do you source your metals and your stones like tourmaline?
So the tourmalines, I get from all over the world. Actually, we get some from Brazil. There is a number of different mines out there, but I got a gentleman up in Boston who gets a direct connect to the mines in Brazil, and he gets me some just really elaborate, very, very color saturated stones. I'll try to grab a few here for you. Well, let's say, for example, this one. You can see they're multicolored, very beautiful Brazilian tourmalines. Their bicolors are always very nice and saturated, but they get even more fancy. There's this other one that I'd really like to show you if I can find it here in the mess of stuff. Aha! That's the one. So you can see there's actually a peach color on the bottom, a pink color in the center, and a seafoam green sort of teal up at the top. And this is one of my favorite stones, hands down, without a doubt, that I've received in the last few packages. And I got a client who's put some money down on that, and we're going to make a real nice 18 karat yellow gold frame with some diamonds in it to really make that thing pop. But to finish your answer to your question, all over the place. Brazil, Afghanistan. There's also beautiful stuff coming from California and Maine, so it's really kind of all over the world. And the best part about it is the color. You know, there's so much color. It's a rather durable stone. You know, for a 7 to 7.5 on the hardness scale out of 10, that's pretty good. So they're a good wearable jewelry type stone. And you know, past that, I'm just addicted to the colors and the color change. It looks really cool. It's hard.
So fair to say that's one of your favorite stones to work with?
I would say that and diamonds for sure. Diamonds are always nice, and of course rubies and sapphires, just because of the strength and durability and what you can do with them. It just makes working with it a little bit easier. But that being said, I also source most of my metals from the United States. There's a couple of large refiners and effectively tool companies that provide both effectively everything you need, not just tools but materials, also gems and packaging, and they'll even do hot foil box stamping for you if you're into that kind of a thing. So they're all about branding and helping the jewelers, you know, create a name for themselves. So that being said, I just get my metals and produce about 99% of everything here at this little tiny bench. Past that, I do not make those little teeny tiny 1mm chains that you see all the pieces on, because that would just take way too long. So
You can see by the map on the wall, he'll probably ship it anywhere.
that's correct. We ship all over the world with the proper tracking and insurance and all that good stuff. Yeah, so if you want to get something that's really nicely made, one of a kind, made right here in Stock Island, you know, can't get much better than that. Check me out. Made by Soto, right down at the end of Maloney Avenue.